Hello folks, Fair Village Woods again. Oh, just a quick video. It wasn't really a subject in particular, I just thought, okay, yeah, I'm just sitting there doing nothing, so I need to figure out what to do really, so it is a bit of a subject. Well, put it this way, what I've been saying the last couple of days, the last weeks really, yeah, it is a case where a lot of people will say, you've got to be insane, yeah, to be spouting all this stuff, because there really is no evidence of it. I say, I can see your point. Honestly, I can see your point. Yeah. But I would then say, well, hold it. Would you go to a Pentecostal church? Yeah, okay. So you go to a church, even though that church is supposed to be about these spiritual gifts, and yet they will not lay hands upon people. You think it's insane for me to be spouting that I believe that God is going in another direction now, and this is the direction that I think God is going in. You think that's insane, but you don't think it's insane going to a church, sitting there hoping that it's going to get better, even though there's no evidence whatsoever to suggest it ever will get better, because it's only got worse. That's the reality. The church that we have, whether it be Pentecostal, Baptist, United Reformed, Evangelical, Charismatic, well, Charismatic is basically Pentecostal anyway, but those, any church really, generally speaking, they've gone downhill. They have not got better, have they really? They've only got worse. So going into those places, yeah, if you think it makes sense to be in those, then yeah, I would say that's crazy. Yeah, pretty much. I would certainly have an argument towards that being a bit insane. Yeah, we're expecting things to get better, even though seeing no evidence to suggest that that may be the case. Yeah. It's like for years I was a Man United fan, and all these fans were expecting, you know, transfer windows here, we expect great things. We expect, you know, the club to buy all the players we need, that next season we can be challenging again. And you're expecting this based on what evidence? Yeah? That to me is insanity. One of the bits of evidence, from my understanding, my belief, is the lack of any movement in the church. Because if I believe in God, come off it now. That's the second lot of people have come across. God is busy. Yeah, anyway, I'll finish this in a second. Past these people. How you doing, alright? As I was saying, if I believe in God, then the reality is, when I see the lack of movement of God, blessing the church, helping the church move forward, healing the church, whatever is needed, seeing any of this stuff happening, when I see the lack of that, I say there must be a reason for that. Yeah. For all these years, I've been talking about the fact that the church needs to focus on what it isn't doing that it should be doing, and what it is doing that it shouldn't be doing to get right with God. The church has no intention to do that, clearly, because they haven't done it, right? Well, again, as I say, if you've been trained according to Bible college and that sort of thing, you've not been trained to do that. You've only been trained by God to do that. As I say, this point about MOTing stuff and servicing stuff, yeah, it comes from the world. It comes from how we take care of the stuff we need in life. Yeah, that we make sure it's in shipshape, don't we? We make sure it's in good condition. But do we make sure our churches and our relationships, so our relationship with God and our relationship with each other, do we make sure that those things are in good condition? No. Well, why not? Surely that's something that's important. If you're guided by God, then God's going to make sure that you do that sort of stuff, yeah? I would have thought so. Because if it's important enough for us to make sure that our cars are MOT'd, you know, to make sure that they're safe, then surely we would do the same with relationships, and certainly our relationship with God. Anything we're going to give our life to, yeah, we want to make sure it. Yeah, we want to make sure that we don't end up crashing terribly because we're going down a bad path. Now, I know the path I'm going down. Is it possible I'm wrong? I think, to be honest, I think it's... Well, I have to say yes, because, yeah, was I wrong about the wife situation that I was standing on? Yes. Yeah, I was. And it's all very well to look later and say, oh, but everything makes sense now. Isn't that the way things happen with life, though? It's only when you look back that you then see, oh, that makes sense. Yeah, when I did the one about timing, and about the fact the very next day after God said 8 months, you know, he talked about, yeah, coming through Yeshua to a relationship with him. And that, you know, now I see that was the point of that stand. I didn't see it at the time. So therefore I was wrong then. So could I be wrong now? Yes. But I think I was more wrong when I was thinking that there could be revival. When I was thinking that the church is something that God could save, or will want to save, or will want to actually bring people into. Yeah, the way it is. Yeah, I think I was far more wrong then than I am now. I think there's a far better chance that I'm right now because it just, I'm back to that point again, it just makes sense. It does. Well, we know there is no possibility at all. You cannot serve God, you cannot be part of his business if you have the old man nature the Bible talks about. If you have that you came into Christianity with, if that's pretty much still there, which it is, because most churches don't actually bother with healing and deliverance, and actually working with people, getting rid of the stuff that they brought with them into Christianity. They just trust that somehow God's going to deal with that at some point in time. They don't actually bother with it. So if they don't actually bother with it, then yeah, how's it going to get dealt with? But if you've still got that, you can't serve God. You can't go into ministry. We've seen the way it's happened in America. Yeah, we've seen people that go into ministry, and once that ministry starts going well, they get money crazy, don't they? They get money mad and power mad. They get talking about the prosperity ministry, which prosperity is right. You should be prosperous if you are a son, because that glorifies Father. You know, it makes sense. You should be prosperous, but you should be prosperous based upon God giving, not upon you conning people to give. Yeah, obviously. So, but we saw all that with a lot of those powerful ministries in America. How when you don't have his nature, when you still have the nature of the world, basically, eventually it's going to take over. Eventually you're going to, especially when people start lifting you up as if you are something special, you start to believe in it. Because you don't have the nature of Father, you're not pointing to him. And you don't get the right people around you because you don't realise that it's so important to do that. You get people around you that are kiss asses because it's a damn something more comfortable. Because you are going to get criticised by people, but you're going to get criticised by people who hate you for the wrong reason. Or at least that's what you say. Anyone who criticises you hates you for the wrong reason, right? Yeah. Yeah. So with that nature, you cannot be part of Father's business. So if you have to have his nature, then you have to You have to know who Father is, you have to know who you are, and you have to have Father help you to become more like him. That's evident. Well, that's partly what I've been talking about anyway. But then if that's the case, and if the Bible does say in Genesis that we were created in his image and we're supposed to have his nature, because not having his nature means we can't actually do his work on earth, because we can't. We've proven absolutely and totally that we're completely and utterly incapable of doing that, really. Just look at church. Yeah. So if that's the case, then obviously, you know, it just makes sense, doesn't it? Yeah. So if it makes sense to you, then you hold on to it, because the other stuff doesn't make sense anyway. Going back to a church that's dead, hoping somehow that God is finally going to do something about it when he hasn't for years. Maybe God's just forgotten. Maybe he's old. He's an old man, isn't he? Judging by the photos, God is an old man, so maybe he's just forgotten. Maybe he's going to wake up one day, oh, the church, I completely forgot about it. But if God is like that, is he worth anything anyway? No. So therefore, he hasn't forgotten about the church. So the only thing that makes sense, if he's not forgotten about the church, is that that's it for that church, as it is. Can it still be used? Can the system still be used? As it is, no. Certainly no longer training people going to colleges, no longer looking at worldly speakers as the type of speakers that we need. Nope. No longer doing any of that. Being trained by Father for his work. That makes sense. Yeah. It's his work. It's his business, so be trained by him. Because he knows what you need for his business. He knows the tools you need. You know. All of that makes complete sense. So if all of that makes complete sense, then everything is talking about relationship with him. And that we therefore need to be of him. Now, yes, it is true. Is this widely spread information right now? No. No. I mean, it would be quite simple for me to say, oh, look at this person. These people are talking about it. Yeah, but there are only 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. Yeah, maybe a few hundred people talking about it. So, yeah, that's not going to persuade anyone that doesn't want to listen, is it really? And I've said already, I believe it is the case that, God won't let people understand it until he reveals it to them. And that is starting to happen. Way before me. Even that Chris Blackaby person was talking about this a long time ago. Not quite the same, but very similar. But things evolve. They do. I mean, what I'm saying now is going to evolve. What I was saying a few months ago has evolved. It should do. Oh, it should do, because, I said recently, and it is very true, when you ask God about your future, generally speaking, God doesn't tell you. Not as a Christian. Why doesn't God tell you? Because you have to walk in faith. If you already knew you wouldn't be walking in faith, you'd be walking in knowledge. Now, you can walk in knowledge of certain things, but your own life completely, in knowledge of your own life? No. No. And knowledge of God's plan? No, you'll get bits, and you'll get bits, and you'll get bits, and you'll get bits. And you won't get the whole picture. Different people will get different parts. That's what fellowship is all about. As you get mixing with other people, you receive what they've been given, and then the picture gets bigger. You have a better understanding of what God is doing. There are different people doing different things. Like Rob said to me, there's a chap who he recommends to me. He does a thing. He's from New Zealand. But his thing is basically helping people to come from church to relationship with Father. Okay, cool. Yeah. Will I do that? If God wants me to, yes. Do I need to do it? No, because I haven't come from church, have I? No. But what I can do is see what he does, and I can then maybe give his details out on the channel, and therefore people can contact him if they want to see that. I probably wouldn't give it out on the channel. I'd probably just, if I met people who were in a churchy situation, they said, you know, one can help us to come from this to what you're in. Yeah, I do now. Yeah. My friend mentioned someone. Yeah. So that's cool. That's what I say. Can I understand what it's like coming from church situation into relationship with Father? No, because I've never been in that. Not really. I've never had that understanding. So I couldn't really say what that's like. To go from that to this. There's a doggy. How are you doing?
Hiya, I'm fine, how are you?
Oh, not too bad. How's little doggy?
Frankie is very good. He's got a heart murmur now, so...
Really? Oh,
That's
sweetheart.
not so good.
You've got a heart murmur.
Yeah,
I am so sorry. Oh, but you're still going.
What, he's still going?
You're
Still
still
going?
going.
He still manages
Yes,
to
you are.
trot about now and again.
Oh, you do, don't you? Yes, you do. You're still going. That's what matters. That's what matters. Yes, 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 yes.
Happy pooch.
Yes. If you get any problems, what I used to do with mine, if I've got any problems with them, I used to pray for them because they're part of your family anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Right, so it's like people pray for their family.
Yeah.
He's part of your family.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yes.
That's
Always
it.
do that.
But God always sees your animals as part of your family.
Yeah.
So you get covered with that.
All of life.
Right, how old is he now?
He's at least 12.
At least 12.
He was definitely 3, but he could have been older when I got him.
Yes.
He's a rescue dog, so...
He's doing well.
He's doing very well. He is actually.
He's had a happy life. That's what matters.
Oh, he's one of those. He's one of those anxious collies. You know, if there's anything, certain pitches of noise, and he just bolts. But now, because he's older, he doesn't go as far, and he stops when I say wait, Frankie, and then he waits. Whereas he just used to go, and then we had to wait until he came back.
Well, mine, Mickey does that. Mickey just goes.
Yeah.
And I have to blow a whistle, and suddenly he'll come from all the way over there, and run there, and then come to me.
Oh, that's
and
nice.
it's like, okay.
That's fair enough. That's what you're a wolf, really, aren't you?
Sensitive ones, you get a lot of sensitive ones as well.
Yeah, a lot of sensitive collies.
Well, even other dogs are quite sensitive as well.
Yeah.
Well, same as people. Some people are sensitive.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Very true.
Right.
Very true.
Well, it's not a bad night, so enjoy your walk.
It's very nice. Thank you.
Take care. Oh, it's nice to speak to people. Yeah. But 1 second, you've got more people here. I'm going to pause it for a sec. So yeah, as I say, I have no experience in. There are a lot of things that people are going to go through. Understand is even going from one belief to another. I've never done that. So if there are people that can help with that, great. Yeah. That's what I say. Different people hold different things in different parts of the picture. So therefore, that's cool. I certainly don't expect that I'm going to have all the answers to all the questions. Yeah. God's going to give me what he gives, and one thing I will say is that even like today, I've said to Father, come on, what's next? And what I get was, I gave you that thing last night. Yep, that was last night. What today? And you're going to keep on like that. Because, as I say, the church, a lot of churches moved quite well at one point in time, but then they stopped. And when God moved, they didn't. We don't want to do that. We don't want to miss out. Not just miss out. If we want to be part of the business, then we need to be constantly asking what's next. Because there's going to be a next. And we need to be aware that there's going to be a next and keep on asking for what's next. Because there will be that next. And let's make sure that we're there when that next is coming. There you go. You take care. And don't worry about looking crazy. Because how crazy did Yeshua look? When he came talking to a lot of people, he seemed absolutely insane. Even his mother basically said, excuse me, he's got a few things going wrong. Didn't she, pretty much? Yeah. Yeah. So, don't worry about people might see you as crazy. Yeah. Find people that you trust to speak truth to you. If those people say you're going on a crazy path, don't notice them of that. If people that don't like you say you're a bit crazy, then it's like, okay, take that as a compliment to a certain degree. Yeah? Yeah. Well, put it this way, anyone of the world, what you're saying should seem crazy. The reason why it should seem crazy is because, I've said before, there shouldn't be anything, any belief system, if people are standing according to their belief, it should come across as radical, at least. Because it should be radical compared to the world that we live in. And the understandings of the world that we live in. If it's not radical, one must ask, are you really, talking and living according to that belief? So, yeah. If you're doing that, you should seem crazy. Okay. So there you go. You take care. God bless. I'll speak to you later. Bye-bye.